Hi everybody, my name's Melissa. I'm the owner of Sweetie Pies and welcome to my rental kitchen. So today I have a bit of prep for an event I'm doing this weekend and my specialty is homemade Pop-Tarts from scratch. Right now I do everything myself. I do the dough manually, I roll it out, I cut it, I fill it, I make the jams myself, all the toppings, everything. So today we are working on strawberry, wild berry, which is a 3-berry jam that I make, strawberry, raspberry, and blueberry, apple pie, and brown sugar cinnamon. My jams are already done, my dough is already made, so all I have to do is roll everything out. I cut everything, fill it, and then pop everything in the oven. And right now I work with just a regular home oven, even though it's a commercial kitchen. It has the tiered oven, but I have the smaller oven over here. That's what I like for my pastries. So when I was looking for a commercial kitchen, that's what I was really trying to find. So I do the trays one by one, which obviously takes a long time, but it's how the Sweetie Pies come out the best way that they can. So yeah, once they come out of the oven, they'll cool and I'll start to top everything. And before I really start just showing you the kitchen I work out of, it's actually an ice cream studio and a coffee shop. It's called the Chocolate Studio. It's located in Beacon, New York, so there's a lot of candy over here. And then over here we have all of the homemade chocolates that the owner Ann makes. And then it's an ice cream store, so all of the ice cream is right over here, and it's really nice because sometimes I come in the morning and the first thing I do is I take a nice little scoop of ice cream for myself before I start my day, after breakfast of course, sometimes, not all the time. All right, time to roll, let's get started. I'm going to film as much of this as I can today. morning. I am now home. I just got ready and I'm about to leave to go to Harpoon Hannah's. So come with me to my pop-up. Harpoon Hannah's is a little cute coffee shop in Rochelle, and I personally don't drink coffee, but when I'm there, I actually do get coffee because it is so good. If I like it, I feel like anybody would. It's really cute. It's one of those places where people come, bring their laptop, and they just kind of sit and work all day. And when I'm there, I seem to bring business in and they bring business to me, so it's kind of just like perfect for everybody, and I love everyone who works there too. So I really like working in places where I like the environment and it's a fun environment and everybody's really sweet. Pop-up at Harpoon Hannah's was a big success. I sold out everything, which is great. I usually always sell out when I go there, but during the baking process, there were a few mistakes that are kind of funny to talk about. So my first mistake was when I was making the brown sugar cinnamon. So in the beginning of the video, you heard me say, oh, I'm gonna make a brown sugar cinnamon one. So I make all the Pop-Tarts, I put them in the oven, and as soon as I close the oven door, I don't know what made me think of it. In my head, I was like, I forgot the cinnamon in the brown sugar cinnamon, obviously the key ingredient. So in the brown sugar cinnamon, there's a lot of maple syrup. So the woman I rent from, she had the idea of, well, there's maple syrup in it, maybe you can do a maple one. And I was like, I can do a caramel maple. So I just made an icing that had a lot of maple syrup in it also, so it really had that maple taste, plus with the filling. And then I made a caramel, I drizzled it on, and it ended up looking so good. I posted it on my story, and I ended up getting so many reactions to it. And I always tell people, never be afraid of your mistakes in business, because you know, sometimes they're mistakes, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes they end up creating something even better than what you had before, and people loved it. I have to say, a lot of my flavors that I do in my business came from mistakes from other flavors that I was trying to do. So don't be afraid to just kind of like step outside of your comfort zone, because even if you make a mistake or even if you forget something, maybe whatever you create out of that can be even better. I'll give another example of when a mistake happened, but it ended up being so much better. So and this was way in the beginning of my business, when I was still living at my parents' doing this business, it used to take me like hours to make what I can do in 1 hour now. So I had Pop-Tarts on a tray, and what I used to do is I used to poke holes in the top of the dough, because you know, you do that in an apple pie, you kind of aerate the top of it. And I just always noticed that my Pop-Tarts never came out puffy. They never came out the way I wanted to. So one day I dropped a whole entire tray, and I had to make another one really, really quick. And I made it so quick that I forgot to poke the holes in the top of it. And when I put them in the oven and they baked, they puffed up, and it was exactly what I was looking for. So that mistake of me doing something quick and forgetting to do a step actually gave me the results that I've been trying to figure out the whole time. Now, mind you, I did not go to culinary school, so I'm really kind of just learning everything on the fly. Another mistake that I made that was kind of the same day as the brown sugar cinnamon. That morning, I mixed my dough wrong. I ended up putting a whole extra recipe of butter without adding the extra flour into it. I just did the math wrong, and I wasn't thinking. So 2 big mistakes in one day, but it ended up being okay. It just had some extra butter. They were just a little bit more buttery, which I mean, I feel like nobody complains about. It was just a little, like when they baked, they just really kind of seeped out a lot of butter, just more moist than I would have liked it when I was baking them. And I noticed like dealing with the dough was a little bit weird, but it ended up being fine. It wasn't a tragedy, and just some things happen. And I feel like owning a business has also kind of taught me patience. I used to not have patience. If I made one mistake, I would be really hard on myself. I would be really upset about it. and I wouldn't be able to handle it. And now I have to say, when something happens, I don't really budge. Like, I just accept it and I keep going, and I've learned everything is fixable. And if it's not, it's not, and there you go. As long as you're not hurting anybody, nobody's sick, nobody's dying, then you can just kind of keep going. And really, that's kind of the mindset that helps me go without just being really, really hard on myself. And there's a saying that I've always loved by Andy Warhol, and that kind of helps me keep going and keep being inspired. The gist of it is create art, keep going, whether people are deciding whether they like it or not, keep creating more. And it just helps you not just be stuck in that perfectionism mindset, because the perfectionism can sometimes actually be your downfall. And if you are a creative, or if you're a baker, if you do anything that is coming from you, it's you almost think that every time it can be better, and maybe it can, but just keep going in the meantime. Don't let yourself get stuck, because then you can hold yourself back. Before I was a baker, I was a hair colorist for about 15 years, and it was the same thing. Like, I feel like I learned so much in the industry, even though I'm not in that industry anymore. There are so many things that I take from that and I put into what I am doing now, and I have to say, it has made me like just a little desensitized in a good way to certain things, where I feel like I just really have had times where I've really, really felt down, and dealing with customer service and all of that, where I feel like I learned so many skills, so many tools, that starting a whole new business, I have other challenges, like starting a new business, of course, but there are certain aspects I take from that have helped me so much doing this. Of course, I'm still a very small business. I'm still in like the beginning stages. So, but I must have some advice for somebody who was like me a few years ago, who hasn't even started something like this. So I will do a YouTube video about all of that at some point. So if you have made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I definitely want to do more videos like this, because it's a lot of fun. I want to get better at it. I want to get better at kind of storytelling. I like watching YouTube videos of other people living their lives. I think it's a lot of fun. It's inspiring. And yeah, so if anybody ever has any ideas for me, let me know. So once again, my name's Melissa. I'm the owner of Sweetie Pies. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.